So this morning I want to talk about adaptation and why adaptation is such a key component in moving forward and evolving and sometimes also surviving in situations. So when we look at all the diverse species on this planet, we see that the ones that have made it so far, or the ones that have adapted to the ever-changing environments that they live in, that they are conditioned by in their immediate environments, and those that haven't managed to adapt have become extinct, or they've lost most of their population, and are still now in the process. The remaining of their species are in the process of then being forced to adapt in order to survive. And this is a big wake-up call for humanity right now, because we have been now given a circumstance where we are being forced to adapt. We are being forced to change the ways that don't really go hand in hand. They're not really aligned with the way that nature creates, the way that nature evolves. So as soon as a species falls out of that pattern of being in co-creation with nature and co-evolution with nature, then it gets forced to adapt. It gets forced to change. It gets forced to change, and then it gets forced to adapt. So we are right now at that very moment where we are being given this opportunity to look at the things that work, look at the things that won't work, haven't worked, and start to adapt. Because this adaptation is going to be the key for us to move forward, to transit from the old paradigm into the new paradigm, into what is going to be the people and the communities that are in alignment and in balance with nature. So looking around me over here, I'm in one of the valleys in Malta. It's one of the last valleys. There's a few, but not many, that have been still untouched. When I say untouched, like looking at the background there's still like some sort of architecture which isn't quite aligned either. But the reason why I'm talking about this is because there's a lot of agriculture in here going on. And even though right now it's producing food at a high cost, at a high environmental cost, in terms of the way that it's being produced, the way that it's being done is being destructive to the nature at large, in many ways. That is from all the practices that involve cultivation and producing the fruit to the market that demands it. So there's a lot of pollution going on in terms of creating fertilizers and pesticides in order to support the cultivation that has been adopted so far over these last 80 years. And that's also, you can see a reflection of that misalignment with most of the ways of life that people that are working in that situation, the local farmers, are in harsh conditions. Their bodies all beaten up. They're not living in a happy situation because they're always going against something, and they're also like fighting against the system in order to produce something which the market is demanding, but it's not a sustainable market at all. So coming back to adaptation is, and why I'm saying all of this, is that because we have to move forward, we have to find new ways and recreate the ways that we create food in a more harmonious way with nature. We have to find systems that actually benefit all, not just us, not just our profits, not just also our immediate gain, but also the long-term gain that we leave also for the future generations. So we leave better situations, cleaner environments, better soils, as well as food forests that are going to outlive us and continue to further the ecosystems into the future. And this is the major work that I love to share and work with, which is permaculture and permaculture design, and engaging this with people and teaching people how to do this in very practical ways, in very simple ways, starting from scratch, which is opening the eyes into observing. Observation is key. It's one of the main principles that we start with, and there's a lot of learning just to doing that, into learning how to observe. how do we observe? How do we start even to observe? And what are we looking for when we observe? What are we going to use as tools to give us the results that is going to push us forward into something that's co-creative and productive and resilient? So I hope that inspires you. Leave me a comment if it does. Subscribe to us on this channel if that is something that you would like to keep on, being inspired by. And I wish you all the best. See you on the other side.